have to write the name. It was
Chris.
Chris with C.
Yeah.
Yeah. Chris. Pete. Yes?
Yeah. Yes.
Nice with the name.
Make life easy for you.
Make things easy.
And
Lorna.
Lorna. And you, this is your
Grandfather.
Yeah.
And you can hold that one. Yeah. So how is it to be in Norway?
This is fantastic. It's a beautiful country.
Yeah.
Yeah, really cool experience.
Yeah.
Very awesome that this is
Have you been looking forward for long?
Yes. Yeah, very much.
Have you heard a lot of this story before?
We've heard bits and pieces of it. So this will be the first time. It's incredible to be able to just put something visual and tangible to it.
Yeah. Somewhat
You know,
see what they saw and sort of even a piece of what they experienced in terms of the distance they had to travel and the people involved is fantastic.
You heard the story that they named a place after Little Canada.
Yeah.
Because it's similar to Canadian landscape.
Yeah.
You feel that when you are here, or?
Yeah, it feels similar to Northern Ontario. A little bit.
Yeah. The height, you can take the road to the sea where the boats will be.
They leading that one? Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Bjorn and the others with yellow vest, they will help you to keep people together. So we'll take some stops and inform and hike. We hike quite slowly, but we will hike and give some information. Okay? So Ove and me will be in front. And this was the point. Magnus, the father of Ottar, he met them here and he told them the best way for you to hike is against the hills. He pointed out that way because there were a lot of Germans in Os, so they had to get away from this site.
Actually, the story goes he was standing here with the Germans behind him. He was pointing that way, not with the big arm.
Yeah.
He didn't want people to see what he was doing, so he stood deliberately shielding and said, go that way.
Yes. So we will do and follow this advice from Magnus. Yes. But we will follow the roads and the tracks. They went through the wood, not to use the roads, of course. Okay.
Mats, tror du jeg kan bli med og gå den turen, eller er det?
Power line crossing the hill up in that gully, and that is the direction they headed out. No roads, this road was not here, the houses was not here. Through the wood, that direction.
No options. Wow. So for the scan,
you want to go with Eric?
Is this how big the train goes?
Okay, so I think people just have to consider whether it's. I think you're getting.
I've only got second like but it's just about.
They're habitable ground, Jeff.
Yeah.
That'd be pretty neat.
What are you working on in Calgary?
Yeah,
But I mean, just even thinking from this morning, leaving that place and looking out and knowing that let's go that way.
They're like gates that are trying to close us.
Oh, the roots, you mean?
Hello again. What are you doing?
He is documenting the journey.
Can someone get my shoe?
Uh-oh.
Can someone get my shoe?
Oh, got it.
You.
Shoe rescued.
You.
Oh, I'm about to lose mine.
I don't like the shoe.
That was a kind of a guide for them. So the old one was almost at the same place.
Right, so they-
We went up to the galley up there. So, but the fjord is a bay down here, so they had to go around the bay. But they saw this line.
And that's what they used.
That's
to
what
do.
they're
Yeah, I think they used that one because they, his father told them
Yeah. Go that way.
against the hill, perhaps like this, he said, to the hill, and then they had this line as a guideline.
Because you know what? Coming out here this morning, I'm looking at this and saying, how in heaven's name did they get from the landing
Yeah.
site
Up there,
to Bjornen?
Yeah.
Or what's
Yeah,
it properly,
I think
what do you
they-
properly call?
Bjorn, yes.
Bjornen? It's
Yeah.
good?
Yeah.
So I haven't been making too
Yes.
many mistakes.
This is a kind of a guideline for them.
Yeah.
This line.
Because,
Yeah,
you know,
they needed
right now-
something.
Yes, a little bit more
and I
trees.
think I have an idea
It
of
wasn't
where
so
things are.
much trees earlier. A little bit less. No.
I
The
would
spruce,
think so.
there were no
Yeah.
spruce. That's a new thing in Norway. Everybody should have spruce.
So it was a
no
lot.
good.
It was a lot. It was a lot more open.
Yeah.
That was my. You know, when I read what he wrote, that's where I understood. It was would have been a lot more open, but this morning, oh my heavens!
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, just follow them.
Get kind of
Yeah.
lost. Okay.
Anyway,
You see the high voltage, high tension. What do you call it? High voltage, high tension. Yeah.
Hydro wires.
Yes, that was a kind of a guideline for them. They wanted to go up there on the top
Okay.
of the hill. So you don't see anything in the bushes.
Okay.
They used this this high voltage line like the old one was almost at the same place, and they used it a little bit like a guideline to head up to the top of the hill. But there's a bay on the sea down here, so they have to go a little bit around.
Oh, I see. Okay. What is the winch for? What is this for?
This one,
No, that.
well, the winch, I think it's from perhaps when they made the line or something like that. They can pull some logs or something. I don't know really. No. Yes. You see the high voltage, high tension line. That was a kind of a guideline for them because they wanted to head to the top of the hill, up in the gully there. So you don't see anything in the woods. So they had this a little bit to follow, and so they did. Yes.
Did they go by themselves?
Yes, they went. Only Magnus told them this is the direction against the hill, and they went alone here. And so you saw there was a small stream. They was walking in the stream to avoid the dogs a little bit. And then they was not following the tracks. They went in the wild bushes. Yes. Yeah.
We're gonna go that way. Okay, good. Yeah, remember? Are we gonna, or we?
Yeah.
I didn't buy ankle boots.
Oh,
There's
no
following the steps of history, right?
I think you will
I can smile.
You will live.
Done this once.
But I like these ones.
Yeah.
These are
You redid the same March 2004?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe slightly different.
Okay.
yeah, we never came this
I found the ball. Hey, I found the ball.
Difficult to live in the environment, but it's a lot more difficult for the people chasing you to be able to find you. Nope, we don't very much. I normally wear my flight suits on a daily basis, but for today we thought we'd wear our combat fatigues for what they did. Yeah, but I can only imagine doing that without boots, and I mean Harvey going pretty much barefoot for such a long time, right?
You can go.
Yeah.
As you see, we have followed the tracks, but they didn't go in the tracks. They went in the bushes, straight on to the hill. So it's a little bit difficult for us, but even more difficult for them. And they try to avoid the dogs going in the small streams as much as possible to distract the German dogs. So they perhaps did like this as well. And they decided to stay together. They have discussed if they should go in pairs, 2, 2 and 2. And then they decided to go all 6 together. Otherwise they perhaps will split in 2 and 2. And I'm not sure that will be a success, because then some had come to the German. There were a lot of Germans straight down here, and this direction was the best and almost the only one they could choose to get away. If they had it against Oos, it will be a lot of problems. So this was out in the nature, and you saw all the new houses. Nothing of this was built. And in 5-10 minutes we will come to the road, and then we can decide if we want to go out to the quay or continue.
Oh, it's right there. Man kunne gå den veien nå, men det var usikkert med flo og fjæra og det kommer bort. Så derfor så fant de ut vi går heller ut til Hellerøy snø. Gå forbi det. Da har vi en liten stopp der.
The airmen, they came down through the bushes, and then they rounded the bay and went up in the hill. So we will go a little bit drier place, this way, and we will enter the track further on. But they, of course, didn't follow the tracks. They went in the bushes around this small bay and straight up in the hill. And they had to climb between all the bushes, and quite a hard walk, quite hard hike. But they, as I said, they decided to keep together, not split in two and two and two. And that was quite wise, I think.
If they had broken up, if they had followed the escape and evasion protocols, we wouldn't be here because they wouldn't have survived. I am thoroughly convinced of this. The Germans flooded this area with so many people searching. They would have come across at least one group or two groups, and that would have led them to the third group, even though they split, go different directions. Staying together was the best and smartest thing possible.
Remember what shoes they were looking in.
Yes. Have you read my father's story? He didn't have any. He took them off. He buried them.
He made a hole in the sock.
So they got very wet and cold. It was raining and foggy, and a lot more a bad weather. Not like this. But that was their advantage as well.
Yeah?
Because then they could hide a bit in the wood more than in sunny weather.
They wouldn't be visible. They'd be invisible. And that was so many things seem wrong, but we're right.
Yes.
So many things went exactly right to allow this to happen.
Well, they were a couple hours behind.
A couple hours?
Yeah, because I don't know if you heard Rick was saying, they came in around 8 o'clock.
This is carvings from the Stone Age. It's 3,000 years old. About, we think so. About,
Yeah.
Yes. You see it going from here. There's a ship. And this is the sun, we think. And here is the ships. And here is a ship up there.
Amazing. You have to step backwards and see that.
So the first people from Oos, they lived around here. Yes. You have these kinds of carvings.
Petroglyphs or, yeah.
Yes.
They,
Yeah. I think we have just have to pass. We have
Okay.
yeah.
Now I have 2 wet feet.
It's got some crazy people have destroyed them a little bit, but that's the way. Yes.
well,
No, I think it's quite obvious.
I just said I did bring some walking sticks, and I left them behind the car.
Ja, det något lite vanligt, det men en del av det är helt säkert.
Oh, no, I have matches.
This is carvings, stone carvings. The most of them are from the Stone Age, we think. 3,000 years. Yes. This one is definitely very old. This is the sun. We are not so sure about these. These have been youngsters who are made. But here is the sun, we think. All these places. Yeah. You see, it's very. This is cool.
Jensen, grab a hand.
Somebody put it down in there 5,000 years ago. Because people always lived here. So you're just carving, it's like a painting. I think we have to move. It's not so far away.
So if everyone is here now.
Yeah.
Everyone, please. So Mats has asked me to pass on. This is the point where people who wish can go that way and go straight over to the ferry terminal, which is where the boat's going to be. And you don't have to continue with the hike and up to the caves and the rest of it, which goes that way. So anyone who wishes, there's no problem. There's a vehicle up there. If you don't wish to continue this arduous trek, you don't have to. So go over this way.
Some
No,
yes.
let's go that way.
If you want to abrupt, follow Martha. Martha.
Hi. That would be me.
Good for you. You know what? Good for you.
That's okay.
Is there any more?
Yes.
There's a car coming.
This is a Canadian street hockey tournament. All right, come on. Game resumes.
Then you can just that's my mother. Oh, we can walk.
Kind of interesting. A 500-year-old building with a backbone to a churchyard.
Wow.
Right in there.
So lots of
What's the Royal Mile?
it's the street where
I've eaten.
Yeah.
How many houses do you have here?
It was not three.
Så alle bør få det, akkurat den orienteringen der hos dere.
Ja da.
Dette her er jo en nøkkelplass, en veldig viktig plass.
Kom med det noe nede i dumpen der.
This is a key place in the operation. Here was the first place they touched people after the first man. Here was the place they touched people who spoke English. A lady. She helped them very much to find the cave and everything they can see now.
So that's where they met her?
The head here, yes.
Yes,
Down here.
if we take it from the beginning, we got
In this house?
Here's a key
as
place.
well. The airmen, they came over the hill. You see over there?
And
They
there's
went
another
out-
lady with Martha.
All those houses, they went there. So they went out in that hill,
Okay, so they were friends.
and then
Okay.
Morris Neal, he went down to the sea on that side.
Morris Neal was married to a Dane.
Yeah.
So, because he was married to a Dane, he might be able to speak to the Norwegians.
But he didn't. He went down and he knocked the house down by the sea, and then he met Hansine and Christian Bjørnevik. But they didn't speak English, so they just pointed from the sea against where we stand now. So Morris, he had to climb this road. You see, this is quite new. They have taken away all the rocks. So he had to climb up down here and came to the house to Martha. So the other guys, they were lying up there. They hid up there and waited. When Morris went down and got the first contact, then he was changing and went in the direction they told the old people, told him to go up here. So then he entered this way. We can just go a little bit down here.
He wanted me to bring the flags and things. Sometimes a day.
Oh, all the way now.
No, I'm just saying, sometimes a day.
Yeah.
They're in here.
Later. No, earlier.
No. This is just the markers, so you know.
Yeah.
I have them.
Yeah, okay.
So that's the new roof and that's the old roof.
Oh.
I make deductions sometimes. But if you look at the right, that was a brand new roof. Yeah. Unlike asphalt shingles, which go to landfill. You know how many places in the world use asphalt shingles?
So he climbed
Canada
up
and the
here,
US.
Maurice, knocked on
No one else's
house, and met Martha. She spoke a little bit, so she understood what he said, but she went out where we will go now and got hold of Ingeborg, and Ingeborg came here and helped her. So they told the Canadians where they were this peninsula, like this, and then they went to the cave. But we will go a little bit around. Okay. They went up the steep way, straight up there. Yeah. So this is the house of Martha. When they got Ingeborg to come here, Maurice went so we can see the other guys. Come on. So everybody came down here. And they had to climb as well to come, because they couldn't walk. This road wasn't no road.
Okay.
Yeah. And everybody was gathered behind this house.
Okay.
Okay, this is the house of Ingeborg, who Martha, he contacted Ingeborg to help her to speak with the Canadians over there behind that farmhouse. So this was the nearest neighbor. You see this 150 meters between the neighbors. And no roads, only a track. And then these two ladies, they knew about a cave up in the hill here, because they have been here since they was children. So they agreed on that they should take the airmen to this cave and hide them. And this was in the morning, about 9 o'clock perhaps, something like that.
It had to be much later.
Yeah, we have used 1 hour, they went in the terrain, so they used even more. 11 then perhaps in the morning. So it was daylight but raining and foggy. So then Martha went with them up to the cave. We think that she went straight up behind the farmhouse back there, but we will follow the track and go around. A little bit easier to walk. But now we will leave the road. So we will go back in the terrain. And Hans Bjørnen, the father of Ingeborg, Hans, and a neighbor called Johannes Ferstavold, he lived, you see the spruces over there? He lived in a small farm just behind the spruces. And Hans and Johannes, they rowed with a boat to a place called Bjørnen. We will pass it with Midtjylland later on. And they wanted to contact Einar Evensen. But they spoke also with his father, Christian Evensen. And they told him that they had the airmen in hiding in Bjornen. And they asked Einar what to do. The first they thought of was to borrow his boat and go directly to Shetland with his boat. But he told them, my boat is too bad, it can't pass to Shetland. So they decided that Einar should take over the responsibility for the Canadian. So then Hans and Johannes went back and they told Ingeborg that they had spoken with Einar, and then they made the decision to move together with Einar to move the airmen from this cave in the dark in the evening. So we will continue on that when we pass the cave.
So one little note. When they went, Hans and Johannes went over to the Evensons. Christian, the father, was there, but Einar wasn't there. He'd seen the airplane. He was out trying to figure out where they were. He actually encountered some of the Germans, but he was out looking to find the crew.
Yes.
And then he comes home and finds that's where they were.
And he found the people from Bjornen here coming to Bjørnen, and he thought, okay, this is it. So they decided to do this. And then we continue, we follow Ove.
Nå de to bort.
Ja, men jeg kan gå sist.
Du kan jo sist, ja. Flott. Ja.
Kom Anne-Grete her med bilen?
Nei, hun har vært der.
Og Marte er gått også?
Ja,
de
to får. Ja.
Then Ingrid will be the last one, okay?
Yeah.
Yes.
That was,
many years.
Yeah.
To go with the sheep and the cows.
But the rocks are sort of a guide to it.
Yeah. The German patrol boats, they saw them when they were in Bjørnen. They saw several, they were going quite close to the shore.
They were looking
Yeah,
for them.
yeah. Then we will go up to the cave to leave the track. Just take your time, and we have people a bit behind you so you can relax.
Yeah, Martha give them waffle. And then for you to know.
Everybody can just come over here and get a waffle if they want.
And they
And there's blueberry jam and blueberries. Because that was what they were eating up here.
Yeah.
They were eating well.
You like it, eh?
Maybe they didn't have that much sugar. Cold again, and then
You would.
Is there one up there?
Yeah. But that's universal language, right?
Yeah.
Like this.
Yeah.
Okay, voilà.
We will try to put some more people inside. Four. One more. 5.
That's right. You in there.
Do we have one more? One more.
I say perched up here.
One more person. Then we have 6. And as they write that everybody didn't get a good place inside because there was dripping water on the front. So, and Gordon Biddle, he catch a cold, so he was a bit with a little bit fever and a little bit sick. So they had to. He lay down in the middle. And the others sat around and kept him warm.
I thought they were taking a picture.
Yes, okay.
Okay, we've been given the okay to.
Yeah, but with him you were 6. When he, with you they were 6.
I was getting wet though.
Yeah, yeah. I think they had to
Switch it up.
Yeah.
Turns inside.
They lived high off the hogs, didn't they?
I can get out so that
So yesterday morning,
Oh, I don't. That's all right.
wake up, my grandson. So we had somebody got some salami.
Yeah, I'm up here, Mommy.
Some bread, so a piece of bread, three things of salami, probably like this in the oven. This is a Scandinavian sandwich. So yeah. So
You got in there, you can't get out.
Well, they went in that way.
Oh. Just fell it.
Sarah?
What? All right, go in. How does it feel? Tight?
Yeah, that's homemade from
Here. Way out and you get them in. No, I don't want it.
I'm in the way. I'm usually in the yeah, it's funny how blueberry jam is all in his breast and after it's going to get cold. No, this is the good part.
Let me just set it for you.
As I said, there was the two women who served them up here. They brought waffles. They learned them that they could eat the blueberries, but they didn't dare at the beginning. But Martha showed them that you can eat the berries. So they ate the berries and they got milk and eggs. She went up once again and with the waffles and hot tea. And then down again and up even more. And then at last Ingeborg came up with Johannes and told them, no, we are off to go. Then it was about 9 p.m. in the dark. So they had to walk in this terrain in the dark. Not very difficult. From 11, 12 a.m. until 9 p.m. The first day. And that was very, very smart to move them, because then it was 20, 25 Germans coming to the house of Ingeborg and also to Martha and took over the house. And these girls, they were very brave. They went away from the Germans up in the hill, and they had this box and told, we are going to pick blueberries for you to have tomorrow. Ingeborg told the Germans, so you can have blueberries to the breakfast. And she went up here and talked with them. And then she went back. She had some blueberries for the Germans as well. So they were quite clever. There are waffles down there. And that is the grandchild of Martha. Martha is the daughter of Ove. And he is the son of Martha. So now Marte saves waffles like Martha did to the airmen.
Just to make sure I got the right picture. Long way to go to not have a right picture. So you might get it's okay.
No, listen. Anything that doesn't get eaten isn't going out, so you must eat waffles.
Thank you. Just wanted to be sure. It's a long way to go.
It's hard to find a spot to solid. I know.
Keep her.
I was planning on it.
There. I'll take a picture. All right. Anything that they weren't. There? Yeah, that's easy.
Size in here. Get a spot. Don't see it. Up in front of the point. You'll never be in the picture.
That's right.
I can get back.
Don't get lost.
Keep going. Keep going. Made it.
Yeah. It was a little bit bigger apparently back then.
The one that doesn't have a water bottle, because somebody forgot to put water in it. So, you want to taco?
Callie, come on up here.
I broke it.
Yeah, I think that they were.
We were looking for that hole. You found it.
And I read you see 35 minutes, not your fine. And then after that,
We're in deep.
Because they tell it was not space for everybody to go inside, so it could be this one.
It could have been.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, because six, that makes it pretty tight in there.
Yeah. But some of them were not so tall, like Harvey and.
Yeah, Harvey, they were pretty small.
Yeah.
Probably got drew the short straw to go in the back.
Yeah. And then Gordon Bjornen, he was lying a little bit like that because he was sick or caught a cold or fever or something. And then, I think he slept half an hour, 1 hour, then he got better. And then they got the baffles and hot tea, and then they got the better. They had these tablets, survival tablets, perhaps some amphetamine or something like that. They had rations for emergency.
Yeah.
Like we have in the planes, perhaps. Yeah. We'll go from here and down to the Trynevik where they embarked the Oselvas. And from here I will go in the front a little bit fast with the one of you who are the fastest, so we can start the embarking, so that it will not be so much waiting to embark the Midtjylland. So Ingrid and I think Mons and Marte, they will take everything so we have everybody with us. But don't be worried if you are losing the person in front of you, because they will be in the back. And we will go and start the embarking with the first ones, and then continue as people come to the shore. Okay?
We'll do our best to keep up.
Yeah, it should have.
So if you lose the one in front of you, just wait and we will pick you up.
They will come at the rear. Okay? Yes. But be careful. I think everybody shall now go take a round. Don't down the steep one, we will go around. And take care of your legs. The foot, the ankles.
Yeah, it's twisting.
There's a lot of stones.
It's a long way to carry.
next time. Thanks, Eric.
That was a good tip about the accent.
Oh, so much for that stick. It's my inflexibility.
Everybody limbo.
We're judging you, Rick.
Oh, Rick!
Look out! Careful, careful.
Well, good.
Big one.
Yeah, definitely.
Your backpack's stuck.
I know. Sorry, I was worried it was landing on you. That's why I was yelling. I don't care about the rocks.
No, I was losing parts of my camera. That's why. It's falling off.
He'd like to be arrested.
offering information, right?
Yes. Oh, thank you. Be careful.
You can take that off, though.
Hvilken vei du leder oss på nå?
Hei?
Hvilken vei du leder oss på nå, si?
Ja, han er forsiktig. Forsiktig der, ja. Bakgården er den som stikker ut der. Men det går bra. Ja, men bare gi det beskjed. Ja.
Så, men
Ja.
Dette var nå en sånn skikkelig happy ending.
Ja.
En av de
Det er det eneste som har kommet tilbake igjen, ikke det?
Det hele mannskapet kom tilbake.
Ja.
Ja.
Det var hele gjengen.
Ja.
Eneste. Det var de som var Escape Society, vet du.
Ja.
Og det eksisterer jo ikke lenger, for det er jo ingen som er medlem. Kan bli medlem?
Jo. Nei, bli medlem, men Harvey, han lever jo.
Ja, jeg hører det. Og Harvey er den jeg har hatt mest kontakt med, altså.
Ja. Men de har jo både han og Biddle har jo bodd hjemme hos mor og far.
Ja, jeg kan tenke meg det. Ja, da.
Så i 1983, jeg vet ikke om jeg sa det, så...
Ja, det var oppe i Lønningdal, det. Nei, det var oppe på...
Nei, på Moberg.
På Moberg.
Ja. Og da var det, i 83 så var jo Biddle her.
Ja, Biddle, ja.
Og da hadde jeg han, Einar Evensen og far,
ja.
og så konene deres.
Ja, vel.
De var med meg i båt fra Os og inn til Rolsvågen.
Ja, så der.
Mens vi var nede og lagde lunsj nede, for kona mi, hun var høygravid.
Ja.
Så vi måtte være ned med sjøen igjen i lag med damene.
Ja.
Så lagde vi lunsj mens de var oppe i hytta og kom ned igjen.
Fantastisk.
Ja da.
Fantastisk.
Litt tøft å gå. Nei, jeg ser ikke hvor gammel du er, men hvor sikkert du blir født. Så skal jeg regne ut deg.
Jeg er født i 32. Dette går så greit. Vi siger på fram helt etter planen.
If you were a mountain goat up here.
I'm assuming there's not too many places that have that.
Probably not over on the top, okay. Oh.
So it's very difficult to walk them, but that was the only way to hold them.
Doug, I think you should more you test it out.
Wait for me on the boat. Take the harder route, eh?
Men det er mange historier, og det som er så fascinerende, det er at alle familiene, de er jo bare blitt fortalt dette her.
Ja.
Og alle familiene har hver sin innfallsvinkel til det, sant?
Ja.
For de som jobber her, og tok de herfra, de visste ikke om hva som skjedde med de etter de var faren herfra.
Nei.
Så ingen fikk vite, og de som fikk vite, det var jo de som var farlige.
Ja.
Så jo mindre du visste, jo bedre var det.
Ja.
Hvis du ble tatt.
Ja, for da...
Ja, da hadde vi ikke noe å fortelle.
Ja, for de banket ut av det de skulle ha.
Ja.
Og far var jo en av de.
Hvilken bank har vi opp, ja.
Han ble tatt 17. november, altså 5 uker etter at han Magnus Hauge.
Da ble han mishandlet mye og tortur.
Ja.
Og så hun andre, som ikke var her, men søstera til Ingeborg. Hun satt jo på Espeland og ble torturert. Hva het hun? Var det...
Nei, det vet jeg ikke. Far fikk jo 3 dødsdommer ganske umiddelbart. Og når mor var og besøkte han på Espeland, så ble hun tatt inn til plasskommandanten og fortalte det at når vi har henrettet han, så skal du være den første som får vite det.
Ja, fy faen.
Og så hun ikke han igjen før i mai, når han slapp ut fra Møllergaten 19. I Oslo.
Var ikke det en til han Erling Lunde satt i kano med dødsdom der?
Jo da.
Ja, han satt også.
De satt, hvor mange det var, men de satt altså, var det 5 eller 6 stykker på en enkeltcelle.
Det er forferdelig, vet du.
Og det var svenske politistyrker som kom og satte de fri. Kvelden 7. mai.
Skal jeg prøve å komme inn her da?
Ja.
Ja, kom igjen.
For å få dem til å snakke? Ja.
Men jeg fortalte aldri om det. Aldri.
Ja, for de har hørt det fra jeg snakket med noen kanadere nå. For de sa det at da var det bestefar, så jeg er ingen som kommer til å kalle dette mer.
Du er ikke sagbruk, har du også?
Nei, ikke det. Tok egentlig fangrense i Litvinien før.
Åja.
Men nå går jeg på psykologi, så jeg har tatt meg et lite beiteskifte.
Skjønner jeg at jeg skulle ha drevet litt.
Ja. Jeg liker mer å gå tilbake igjen, sikkert. Jeg vil ta en liten pause her. Vi har god tid, de andre står der nede og venter.
Jeg skulle nok ha vurdert dette her, men jeg trodde at jeg var god nok til å gå.
Ja.
Ja, men nå har du gjort det. Jeg greide jo å komme meg opp til Håla, men de snakker om å gå i underbakke, nøtten er det verste.
Det er så. Ja. Men det er der for oss, det.
Ja.
Nede ved
Ja, som er røttene nede der også, så jeg har sklitt 2 ganger. Så.
Ja. Blir det flat der nede på her?
Jeg tror det kommer seg litt nå nede på...
Ja, vi har en 30 meter til, så er vi nede på flaten. Eller på det som er bare en liten skråning.
Så håper de greier det. Vi må prøve. Vi kan ikke sitte.
Ja, men som sagt så er ikke det mange de får med i båten hver gang.
Jo, men altså det er litt mest. Skal jeg gå opp der, eller?
Det er kanskje bedre. Det er bra. Kjør fram og tilbake her lenge.
Flyver litt igjen. Kom opp på stigen, ja. Opp på steinen. Sett det tilbake. Får oppløp igjen.
Samme etappen igjen.
Og det hadde jeg ikke greid uten det. Fy faen.
Hele historien her dreier seg om å hjelpe. Hele historien her dreier seg om å hjelpe hverandre, vet du.
Du vet at når de gikk opp til Åtnahytta den gangen vi hadde vekst med Harvey, da bar jeg Harvey over mange av bekkene. Da var han så dårlig i beina, vet du.
Åja.
Ja, han var så dårlig i beina.
Jeg var med på den turen.
Ja, du var med på det. Det var ikke du som filmet, var det det?
Jo.
Var det det? Husker jeg bar Harvey over disse bekkene, vet du. Fy faen. Den filmen har vi, tror jeg. Eller er det du som har den? Os som har den?
Ingen som har den.
Ingen?
Ikke du
Sletta?
Jo, jeg har den.
Du har den.
Men den har vi lagt ut.
Copyright.
Copyright.
Så den kommer nå.
Så gjør det, ja.
Ja. Så den blir lagt ut i lag med alt andre.
Vi ser deg i flere versjoner.
Ja, det får Nei, men nå må jeg kunne gå her.
Ja.
Ja, men vi er
Siste rest.
vortex and everything.
Say that lowest that if you get wet, it's still yeah.
Patrick, Paul here. Nice to meet you. Hello. Yeah. Diving boat here.
Hi.
Excellent. It's our diving boat. This is great. Yeah. It's really well organized.
Oh my God.
Yeah. It's so amazing to be able to be where they were waiting for the rowboat to get on.
Like the weather, we were on the right side today.
Yeah.
Otherwise we had to pick you up on the other side. But then.
Hei Bjørn. Trygg og god skipper.
Ja da, får du.
Han er god. Takk, takk.
Jeg skal ta denne med en gang, for da har vi han. Slipper ut.
The boat tour, yeah.
Ja.
Last, I think we're taking about 30-something, 34, 35 people so far.
Yeah, I think we're the last.
Jeg har tatt i. Sett deg helt på en ny båt. Går det bra?
Ja, det er bra.
Vær så god.
Alle må gå.
Sett deg bort her, sånn at du kan sitte skikkelig.
Jeg tror ikke jeg kommer hjem.
Så der du. Det gikk jo bra, det.
Ikke tenkt da. Er du med, Kjell Harald? Jeg er med. Ja. Men Øystein, han her kom jo inn igjen og hentet tømmen.
Det tar vi når det kommer.
Ja, nå er det. Men du må hjelpe meg ombord i dag.
Vi hiver deg opp.
Det går ikke noen vei. You needed the hand, but next time it can be me. Yeah. Needs the hand.
Kom inn igjen, eller? Hæ? Han kan veien hjem.
Tomorrow, we're sending the dinner tomorrow. We're sending the next generation. And one of them is a military officer in Bodø.
Han var bare blå. Det var en billig en.
Ja, men dere ser at det var stort behov å være så mange.
Ja. Det var litt lyst.
Dere var flere. Eller 3 og 2, og at vi hadde med de oppgavene her.
God far, alle plasser.
Opplegget
Det funker helt fint her. Det har jo sett selv. Det har ikke vært så stort. Det var det. Det er flere floer enn 4.
Vi har bare fått den når dere sier til og med vafler.
Ja, men det var bra. Det var det mamma som lagde alle vaflene, så det...
Var ikke du som får det?
Jo, klart. Noen må jo gjøre det.
Var du som var græver?
Du vil ikke det holde med andre om?
Ja, Harald. Han må hjelpe.
Vi har god hjelp her.
Og Vestland være igjen her, eller?
Vestland er her, eller?
Og så tog du.
Bakketuren.
Men jeg tror det var Vidar, tar du den posen der til meg? Ja, hvis du hjelper deg nå. Kommer du gå på land? Skal ikke ombord, Vidar?
Jeg prøver. Så er det også den der hjelken vi skal på. Tar du over den der? Ja, det er tungt.